Hi, it's Emily Leiphart of Art from the Heart. In this video I'm sharing a card for the Hero Arts 2014 catalog blog hop with the Hero Hostesses. Once again, the focal point of my card will be the Good Luck stamp set. On this card I'll be using the Happy Birthday stamp. This will be a masculine version of the previous card using the Love stamp from the same set. I'm going to start by stamping the framed Happy Birthday sentiment with Tide Pool ink. I'm going to let the ink absorb into the cardstock while I create the background. I'm going to use the tiny triangles background in a very different way to show the versatility of any background stamp. I've trimmed a piece of thin copier paper and I'm going to die cut circles from it so that I will get a circular pattern from this stamp. It'll look like I've stamped patterned circles on my card. Here I am laying out the pattern I want with circle dies. You can also use various sizes of circle punches for this. My circle punches didn't seem to like my copier paper. I could have used thicker cardstock with the punches, but I would have to press a lot harder into the stamp when inking, and I might lose some of the detail on the edges of the circles. As you're die cutting, be sure to keep the positive circles that you've removed. You'll be using these to mask the stamped circles. Now I take my background stamp and put my custom stencil on top of it to visualize how the stamped image will look. I have to remember that I'm stamping the mirrored image, so that I make sure to flip over the stencil. Of course, if you want to have the circle pattern in the other direction, you can always leave it as is. To ink up the background, I use the same technique as in the previous video. However, the green hills really took over the soft pool, such that the latter color is barely noticeable. The next time I use this technique, I will use just one color and ink up the background as I normally would with the pad flat on the stamp. The details that were visible on the first card with this stamping technique simply didn't show up well when I'm only showing bits and parts of the stamp through the circles. Once the background is inked up, you'll want to place the stencil down and stamp quickly before the ink dries too much. When I put the trimmed mat down to absorb the ink, you'll notice that my stencil is slightly larger than the mat. I did this so that the sides of the mat wouldn't get ink on them. Now I'm going to take those die cut circles and apply them to the stamped areas with repositionable adhesive. These areas will now be protected from the embossing paste. Next, I'm going to take the Hero Arts Numbers background stencil and adhere it to my work surface so it doesn't move. Then I'm going to take metallic silver embossing paste and a palette knife to apply the paste onto the stencil. I find that the more detailed the stencil, the thinner I will want to apply the paste. I don't want the entire mat to be covered, just some of it, and since it's a masculine card, I want the edges to be a little rough. After that's done, I can remove the stencil and also the circle masks with tweezers. It's fun watching the stamped patterns reveal themselves in between all that embossing paste. So while this is drying, I can fussy cut the sentiment frame and then adhere all the layers onto the card base. Please refer to the supply links below if you're interested in any of the products I used in this video. You can also visit my blog for stills and more information. Thanks so much for watching.